Right, out and about, a little ways from home. Craig Judd, hello mate.
How are you, buddy?
Very, very good. Where am I?
You're in Crookwell.
Crookwell, not Crookshank.
No, not
I keep going Crookshank.
No, Crookwell.
Middle of New South Wales. I can be cheeky and say it's a long way from nowhere. It's actually not, and at the end of it I'm going to say why, because I want people to come here and have a look at the yearlings.
Yep.
One thing I will say, don't come here just to look at these yearlings. Have a drive around the place. You took me for a bit of a spin around. Beautiful part of the world.
Yeah, it's amazing.
What are we, about an hour from Canberra?
Yeah, a bit over an hour from Canberra. We're an hour and a half from Bathurst, so Bathurst is further west from us. Sorry about that, mate. And about 30 minutes from Goulburn.
Yep. So yep. Sort of almost in the middle of the racing area. You take away Albury's, Leetons and those areas, you're almost in the middle of the racing area because yep. It's an hour and a bit to Menangle. So it's a yep. really important part of, I suppose, the state. You're always driving, you're always climbing. How high?
About 1,000 metres.
Yeah.
Yeah, massive rainfall and just beautiful country.
Yeah, and it is beautiful country. I tell people, Juddy does have a B&B here, so don't be scared to ring up and see you can't book a couple of nights in the B&B, Airbnb yep. as well.
A double plug.
We'll make sure I'll go 10% of any sales that happen from here. I will say, we don't edit, I don't like to edit, but we have just had a severe thunderstorm weather. The weather does change pretty quick here. It's a little bit different to Victorian weather.
Absolutely, yeah. We get an average rainfall about 900. This year we've had just short of 1,300. So, but yeah, it's consistent. Most years we'll get around that 900 mils, but we can get storms that'll blow up from the east and out of nowhere, which is, I think, is about to happen. Some
of the photos I'm going to show over the top. I've only been here for the one day, and it's bright sunshine. I'm in shorts and t-shirt, beautiful, warm, and it is just changing. We'll probably get this interview done, but I don't think we'll get much else done. I'll have to go and get my tripod case at some stage because it's going to blow away, but it's fine. The wind, this place, when you came here, what was here?
This was a cattle farm. The guy that prior to me purchasing it had a few Galloway horses or something, so he'd put the post and rail fences that you took some photos of. So basically it was just a cattle farm, a sheep farm before that, and just beef cattle. Yep. Property. So all this that you can see here, the stables and the breeding shed and the likes, we've put on since we've been here.
I'm going to throw some video over of the stables. There'll be some photos that were taken when it was bright sunshine in the videos, just so people are aware. It's just the change of the weather, which is incredible. 300 acres.
320 acres, yeah, yep. and just undulating, hilly sort of country. So it's really good. There's no, low spots in such. There's always a high area that they can get in out of the weather. And I think my personal opinion is that it's just for structure of bones on foals and the likes. It's really good country to grow horses.
It's a little bit like I did one of these at Durham Park just recently. The same sort of thing. Undulating hills, natural growth,
yep.
And it's just natural here. You said that's one of the great things, not irrigating and not having to resow and look after paddocks as well, because it just naturally grows. It
does. It's quite incredible, and this year better than any other. But we in past years there's still good dry feed around in February. We're early January now, and I think this season will just flow through into the autumn, and it'll just keep going. There's green feed everywhere this year. It's just been quite amazing.
It is, and it is terrific. Just to have a look around, and look, I get paid to promote. I promote things and all the rest. I'm telling people, come for a drive, especially with the COVID. We can't travel overseas. Make the trip to middle of New South Wales and have a look around at some of these places. And there's some other, plenty of other places to have a look at. Goulburn racetracks just up the road. Wagga's not far from here, Bathurst. Yep. So plenty of other harness people to have a look at. It's Benstud. What did we say the name was?
So Lake Birubi yep. is the property, and the Airbnb's Elysian J, which we named after my mum, and we've got that on the farm as well.
Elysian J, and there's a lovely little sign down there as well. Benstud has always been, I suppose, a place for raising young horses, growing young horses, breeding young horses is what you pride yourself on, and that's what you do here at Lake Birubi as well. Do you call it Lake Birubi or do you call it Benstud New South Wales?
Generally just Benstud, New South Wales. Locally it's Lake Birubi. It's a yep. bit of a really well-known property around the area, so everyone refers to it as Lake Birubi, but in the harness racing circles, Benstud, New South Wales.
Foaling down mares, it has finished for you. Your last one has been done, but it's an integral part. How many horses did you foal down?
We foaled down 61, 60 live foals on the ground, so we had a great season that way. Breeding's been tough, to be honest, but we're starting to get them all now. So, you know, cold weather sort of kicked us off to a pretty slow start. You know, mares just wouldn't cycle early, but everything's going really, really well now. So we've got a permanent mare base of around 100.
100 mares, 60 back in foal.
60 foals born on the ground this year, and we're breeding. I think we're going to end up breeding about 86 or 84 or something like that.
One of the bigger farms in New South Wales, and I think so. Very quickly.
Yeah, and it's just a nice, comfortable number. You know, we're really happy with that. Got a permanent. Or when I say permanent, we've got a permanent vet here for 4 months of the season. So, and just done an outstanding job. She come out from Italy, so we had a few language barriers early days, but we're a terrific girl, done a really good job, and she's 24/7 on the foals on the farm. So she does all the foal watch, the aftercare, and the breeding.
Yep, and looks after them all that way, which is integral. You got to do it properly, which is what Dad's always instilled with everyone. Mark and Trace still cop it all the time, but it is important. You've got your broodmare shed down the bottom there. They'll take photos. You weigh your foals religiously. It's something that you've done at Shep. They're integral parts of growing out good horses, aren't they? Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot that can go wrong, as you know, but you know, we think we've got our finger on the pulse as much as we possibly can. And you know, there's the vet and myself, or one of the staff on the farm permanently. So, which, you know, during that breeding season, you just never know what it's going to throw at you. So we've got hands on deck, and yeah, we do pride ourselves on looking after the foals and growing them out the best we can.
It's a great game of highs and lows. You've got a brother to Centenario behind us. You know, you breed Centenarios, tough tillies. People see you there getting a trophy or winning it's a great game of highs and lows. But to try and minimise the lows as best you can is what's key, isn't it? You can't stop the lows in breeding, but it's just one of those. It's okay. You'll delete it. It'll be fine. But you can't stop the lows. But to try and minimise as many of those as you can is key, isn't it? Yeah.
Look, we got good fencing. We got good feed. We've got people on deck. We've got experienced people and qualified people in the vet. So yeah, as you said, things just happen. And but we have minimised things as best we possibly can. We've got a really good foaling down alarm system. So it's they're stitched into the vulva of the mares, so the alarm goes off as soon as anything protrudes. So we're out there before they foal. We bring them into these boxes, which are the middle dividers on these boxes swing back, so they're double stables. So we foal them down there. The vet is here on hand, and she'll stay with that foal until it's nursing on the mare, and if not, we're tubing them and just doing everything as best we can.
Another side point to the farm, you look after, you have some magisters, you get some a lot of the guys from Menangle. You were saying that Brian Hancock said this is some of the best country you can get to raise horses, so to spell horses on natural ground in about 10-acre paddocks they've got out the back there.
Yeah, we 2 to a paddock, and we just and they're hard fed every day. So yeah, we're really lucky. I've had some fantastic support from the guys in at Menangle. So Wilco, a bit of a legend around the New South Wales circles,
and in Victoria.
And Victoria, yeah. Oh geez, people are going to think I'm actually busy. My phone's going mad. He comes here every Monday, so we'll have a truckload of horses come Monday and leave most Mondays. And they just do exceptionally well. We've got horses come for 6 weeks that are putting on sort of 40 to 80 kilos, so they do really, really well.
Because it's natural, and you can see why. And I mean, I say about how hilly it is, but where they spell, that's just nice, natural.
Yep. Yeah, it's just a nice fall, so there's no sort of, they're not stuck even when it's excessively wet. They're not. Oh, jeez. Sorry, I'm going to throw that phone away. It's excessively wet anywhere. There is a lot of fall in the paddocks, but I don't know. They just do really, really well here, Paul.
Yeah, they definitely do. And as you say, the weather's on. I was hoping
phone's just gone out there.
I know, it's in a puddle, I reckon. But anyway, trying to ring Juddy tonight. There's a reason why you can't get hold of him. Yearling sales are fast approaching. It's one of the reasons, the association with Nutrien, I suppose, going forward and the rest. But it's what Benstud pride themselves on. Last year, you had a huge draft at one sale. This year, it's been split up, and the New South Wales. Are all the New South Wales horses being bred in New South Wales, or is there some of the Victorian ones have come up here?
No, they're all the New South Wales ones, but there's dual bred, a lot of dual bred
Yep.
horses bred to Victorian-based stallions, so there's New South Wales bred and dual bred horses, but everything that's here was born and bred on this property.
And then when we go to Melbourne, those ones will be the Victorian ones?
No, I did send 2 or 3 down for specific reasons that were bred here that I sent down to Victoria. Like the Golden Goddess fella, I sent him down there mainly because he's New Zealand qualified, so eligible for the New Zealand size and the likes, and their sale is the same week as, or the week after the Nutrien sale. Yeah, the Sydney New Zealand sale. So I thought by potentially sending down there, he might attract more sort of New Zealand.
And a little bit later in the season too.
Yeah, look, I mean, he's just a magnificent animal. So that, you know, the age, the difference, the 3 months is not going to make a lot of difference for him. He's a beautiful horse. That was why we sent him there. That's the only reason.
It was good to hear. I did for people that aren't aware, I did a podcast with Gene Feast. Not that it's on my podcast channels there or whatever you watch it, but he is actually going good too, the old Golden Goddess one.
Yeah,
so hopefully by the time April comes around, he might have raced as well, so that might make it even better.
Yeah. Look, they've called him Beckham, so he's put a bit of pressure on him, hasn't he?
His stable name's Merv, so
he's
got a lot of pressure on him. Merv Butterworth, don't worry.
Butterworth, yeah.
So he's got a lot of pressure on him.
No, and he was like a really cool horse. Like, we went to the sales, didn't expect to get what we got. That's 180,000. We got a couple of owners in him, Peter O'Shea and John McGeegan are shareholders in him, so that was great for those guys because she was a pretty hefty investment initially. But yeah, look, it was as good a horse as we've taken to the sales for many years.
You invest heavily. Like, you're not scared to invest and all the rest. It does come back and pay dividends come eventually, but it's a bit of a risk sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've bought mares and lost them. You know, we bought a mare called Spirit of Beth that was a sister to the mother of Lazarus, and you know, we paid a bit for her, and she had one foal and died on us. You know, so these things happen. You know, there's highs and lows all the time. But yeah, it's a risk you take, I guess.
Do you still love it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, it's hard work. It's really hard work, but I'm lucky. You know, mum and dad and sister and brother-in-law are heavily involved, so it's a real family network. My daughter Kendall and Morgan, my youngest daughter Morgan, work with me on the farm here. So, well, Morgan's still at school, but she helps out a lot. So yeah, it's family and it's a joint love. We all, you know, I ring the old man. We don't talk about the footy or nothing. We're always talking about horses and you know what happened today. So yeah, how can you not?
But do you miss that part? Like, I was at mum and dad's just recently, and you know, mum was there doing the paperwork. Dad was calling the shots. Mark and Trace were moving the horses around, and there was other people there as well. I forgot the guy's name.
Yeah, Teddy.
Teddy. I'll get into trouble from Teddy.
He's
I can't never forget Teddy.
Great character, Teddy.
But like, that's a real family environment. You're up here on your own. Does it get a little bit sometimes?
Yeah. Oh, look, it was tough. Yeah, no doubt it was tough, but it was just sort of something I wanted to do. I had an itch that needed to be scratched, and I thought there was an opportunity in the market in New South Wales, which there is. You know, so we're really pleased with how it's worked out. But yeah, absolutely, it's been tough. And with COVID the last 2 years, not being able to get home and see family as often has made it even worse, you know. But, you know, we're not on their own. Everyone's the same, isn't it?
Well, I've been coming up here for 6 months, so...
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Look, it has made it tough, you know, but no, I enjoy it, and I like new challenges and new things to do. I'm a little bit ADD, so I need to do things to
keep
myself occupied.
And I will say, so you got yearlings going to the sales, and we want people to come up and have a look, but this complex that we're in here, it wasn't here, and it was purposely built. You say about ADD, like they're beautiful stables. How many horses can you house here, like as far as for yearling sales or at any stage?
Yeah, look, we got 22 boxes, so we can stable 22. But this year I've actually put we've got 7 fillies in the sale, and I've got all 7 in the paddock and haven't brought them in at all. So we could prep more. But yeah, I'd like 20 to 30 is plenty,
Yep.
to be honest. We've got 4 or 5 staff here in the morning. Well, when I say that, myself and Kendall and 2 or 3 others, and it's 4 or 5 hours work.
Yeah.
It's a big job. Yearling prep. Anyone who thinks it's an easy job,
Haven't done it.
no, haven't done it. It's a really tough job, and like tonight, you and I have had a bit of a tour around and whatnot, but we've still got horses to feed tonight and rugs to put on, and but I love it. I really enjoy it. I love what Nutrien's done with the sales. It's given it, in my opinion, just given it a professionalism and a real spark, and it's made it even more enjoyable for myself.
It's changed it right up. These stables, though, we've got a block of what is here, about 10
11 on this one, 4 over there. Yep.
They both look over each other. You've got grass in the middle just to keep them nice and settled and nice and calm.
Yeah, deliberately sort of. I didn't want to lose the easterly view, so we've kept that open on that side. So we do get a little bit of weather through there occasionally, but it's just too pretty to hide. So and then the rest of the boxes are sort of purpose built, so they face each other. As you said, there's a lawn in the middle there. They're just really happy and content in here, and we can get them out of the weather. We've had to put big eaves and verandas on it. Yeah, well, you'd love to have this in Victoria when it's 42 degrees, but you also need to have it here when it's, you're getting 50 mils of rain in 4 hours, So
And snowy, tells me, too.
And snow, yeah, we'll get half a dozen dustings of snow a year.
Yeah, very good. Well, the Sydney draft, how many have we got going? We had 22, but you're down a couple.
Yeah. Well, actually,
am I right on the numbers?
Yeah, I think we had 23 initially, and we've got 21 now. Right. So one of my owners has decided to keep a beautiful American Ideal filly, so she won't go to the sale, and another one of mine's just not going to make the cut, unfortunately. So we'll turn up with 21 horses.
How many colts?
Geez, you got me now. We got 15 colts, 7 fillies. That's at the moment. So we'll have 15 colts at the sale.
Spoiled by riches. We could go through each of the 20, and I'll be doing more stuff with you guys leading up to it, although it's not that far away. I mean, it's February 20, so it is fast approaching. It's only 5 weeks, I suppose, from the time we recorded this anyway, so it will come up very, very fast. Some lovely pedigrees with the colts, haven't you?
Oh, unbelievable! Yeah, so I've got
all, but you got
I've got. Well, I don't know if a Miss Brazilian colt's been presented at the sales before. There's one out of Miss Hazel. There's a full brother to Centenario, so a half to Tough Tilly. Captain Treacherous first foal out of Art's Treasure, which Art's Treasure is a half to this fella here, and he's a half to Expensive Ego.
Yeah.
You go down further. There's Fly Like an Eagle, an Art Major out of Fly Like an Eagle's mother, so a half to him. One out of Benny's daughter, Amelia Rose, which is that Soho Valencia and all that family. So, yeah, it's a solid draft.
And there's a very current one, the horse in box 15. I can't think. JK.
JOK's half brother.
Yeah.
He's a sweet Lou colt, just an outstanding colt.
Look at you guys looked after the right people.
Yeah.
I didn't realise that part.
No, he is absolutely stunning colt.
But that's the thing. You've got some pedigrees that are just established, Centenarios and all the rest. But fresh in people's minds, what he did in the Vic Bred, I know he ran second, but it was just huge. He's run and stamped himself as a horse. I'm sure the Fitzpatrick boys will be making the trip up here just to have a look at him anyway.
Oh, I would imagine so. Yeah, Paul and Blake have been supporters of us with the adjustment and the property. So, no doubt they'll come and have a look at him and they'll be really pleased. He's a lovely horse. So, out of a mare that Dad sourced the Grand Dam at the yearling sales, Morgan Abbey. So she won us a few dollars. Bred it to Sports Rider, which was Navia. She was a mediocre sort of horse, and then one of the first foals out of her is JOK. So the old fella's I won't say, don't want to wrap him up too much, but he's exceptionally good at with his pedigree matching, and I think the success for our horses are going to come mostly on the daughters of the horses that Dad's bred. And that's proving to be the case. We got 2 Sports Rider mares, one called Carissa 2, which is she was a pretty average sort of horse. Her first foal was Pat's Beach Storm. Then you got Navia, which was a Sports Rider again, and she leaves JOK. And it was a rock and roll dance too. So,
and that's probably the one thing when you come here and have a look at these horses and look at their pedigrees and all the rest. Ask why.
Yeah.
Even if you don't actually know, ring Pete. Ask
Yeah,
him.
look, and I sort of follow it pretty well, but no, the old man is exceptionally good at it. He's also, Dad's never been a person that, thinks that his way is the only way. So he's got a guy in Mike Goody from, he'll kill me for telling people that, but he's a pedigree match guy in Western Australia who's just brilliant. And Dad basically will come up with his theories to why. He's got a computer system that he has that he matches up the horses. So everything's done for a reason. And ultimately, more often than not, we're trying to breed fillies that we can keep the breed on from. You know what I mean? So if they happen to be colts, in the most part, that's where our real success has come from. We've got daughters that have left really good horses that have only been okay race horses themselves, but the colts, you go through, Sarah Valencia, Philadelphia Man, Stars Align, Heaven Rocks. These are horses that Dad's bred over the years, and he just does it every year. JOK being another one.
I done one of these with Jamie Lee King, Bruce Edwards. He's very much the same. All these horses for sale. He sets a reserve, he has his reserve, he doesn't give his horses away, but he wants to sell them all. You guys are the same, especially with your colts. But if you've got a filly for sale, there's generally a reason for it. And it's not that you don't like them. You might have 2 or 3 daughters already out of that family, like you're saying about the ones that Dad breeds.
Yeah.
But that's a reason. If they're in the sale, they're generally they're there for genuine sale.
Absolutely, yeah. Look, we likes of Tough Tilly was the first filly out of Benstud.
Yep.
And she was never going to go to the sales. So we don't take them to the sales unless they're for sale. And quite often we've taken horses to the sale that just breaks my heart. But at the end of the day, you've got X's that have to be met with service fees and the likes. And every year there's 2 or 3 that go to the sales, and you just don't, you don't want to see them go. I've been fortunate enough in cases where I've sold a filly that's been a race mare that I've been actually able to buy back as a brood mare. So I'll follow those ones that I, particularly like, that I've had to sell. It's like, righto, chase them and get them back.
It's actually something I reckon we'll have a chat about it at another time, maybe not necessarily in this video, but it's a good one for young people. You said about 2 mares that you couldn't afford at the sales because they started getting out of your price range, but you didn't want them necessarily as a racehorse. You thought as a broodmare and going forward. So you went and seen the people and said, listen, any chance I can get first right of refusal? And we can say one's our Golden Goddess.
Yeah, well, Merv Butterworth, and I said to Paul, and it bloody puts a tickle in your throat. I can clearly remember that horse walking out of Barn B, walking across in front of me, and I followed her for, it seemed like half a day. And she was just the most outstanding filly I've ever seen at the sales. And, she was well out of my price range. And I said to Merv at the time, can I please buy this horse back? If you don't rate it breed, can I buy it back? And, I nagged him. I was fairly... I'll give him a bit of a hard time. But Merv, true to his word, as soon as she came on the market, he rang me up and said, this is the figure, do you want to buy it?
Yeah.
And gave me the first right of refusal on it.
And the reason I say that is because for a lot of people want to get into breeding, not sure how to get into it, they're not sure if they can afford it or all the rest. There's no way known if Merv one day later had said that figure to you, you could afford that horse. But time changes. That mare raced for 4 or 5 years.
Yep.
You changed, you ended up here, you met some people, and it all tied in. So it's not a bad way of trying to get your foot in the till, I suppose, of getting some quality horses and improving your breed, which is what Benstud's all about. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, like we do. We follow race horses, and I look at what the Andersons have done and Bruce Edwards and the likes, and you watch their fillies, and you're looking at why are they as good as what they are, and you look at what they're bred out of and by, and then you go and look at the type of them, which has been hard to do of recent times, but I'm fanatical at it. I want to look at the horse and I want to see why it is what it is, and then it might not be that one that you can't buy, but it might be its daughter that comes along in years later, and you might trainers will tell you, and I've had Luke McCarthy say it, like he'll see a horse that reminds him of the Grand Dam or the bloody so I follow the horses you like and follow them on paper, and then follow them on the track and just keep an eye on them, and then all of a sudden one just comes across the bow and you get an opportunity to buy it.
And then you like your Sale Topper, that's him there. Topper last year, simply because you did the right thing and it came back to get you. One thing that I'm wrapped that I don't reckon Dad would have had on his radar, definitely wouldn't have had it on 10 years ago, maybe not even 5 years ago. Trotters. and you've got a couple here selling them through the Sydney sale. There's a huge draft of the trotters going through Melbourne.
Yep.
But there's a couple of lovely majestic sons, both out of the Phoenix families.
Yep.
Both cracking types. And is that something there Benstud is going to keep evolving and keep trying to get into the trotting field?
Yeah, we've got we didn't purposely go out to get big into the trotters, but we sort of you just got to adapt and move as you go. We haven't been lucky enough to have a good quality racing trotter yet, but that'll come in time. But we bought Princess Phoenix. She was a horse that I broke in myself. She was just had a presence, had something I liked about her, and she was an exceptionally good racehorse. She was, I think, the 2-year-old filly of the year, and she's just a big brute, big strong horse. And in our dry mob this year, there was 40 horses, and you'd walk in there, and the first one I'd see is Lisa, you call her, Golden Goddess. She just would catch my eye every time you look across the lot. And the next one was Princess Phoenix. Got a real presence to her, and she's got a majestic son colt that's outstanding. So we put him in the New South Wales market because I think there'll be less trotters on offer, and made him New South Wales bred. There's plenty of New South Wales trotting money out there, and I think he'll be as well bred and as good a type as there will be there.
And it's going to keep growing, and if New South Wales harness racing people are watching, keep growing your trotters, because what it's done in Victoria, we've got some very passionate guys in Victoria that have actually grown it, but they want to grow it Australia-wide anyway. But what it's done in Victoria, it's just lifted it to a whole new level, hasn't it? Yeah,
well, what Pat and Duncan single-handedly have done with the trotters in Victoria is just, it's out of this world, isn't it?
Yeah, it is indeed, and there's no problem.
And the race series for the Nutrien is just, I wish I had 2 or 3 to put in it.
And that's, we must always mention that when I say here for Nutrien, because I'm actually here for Nutrien. I'm catching up with Bardo tomorrow, but I'm not actually here for Nutrien. I'm just here to sell these sales and what they're about and the participants that are in them. But we've got to say hats off to Pat Driscoll and Arasta Trotters for sponsoring that race series, because for getting behind it, because it's huge money. In 2 years' time, you're going to be racing for $375,000 like for 3-year-olds. So it's just an enormous amount of money, and it's just going to be terrific. And there's a huge draft going through Victoria, but it's great that there's trotters here. Next year I reckon there'll be more trotters in the Sydney sale and going forward.
Yep.
People want to come and have a look, obviously give you a call, but you're happy anytime?
Yeah, anytime. Yeah, well, we literally won't be getting off the place for at least the next 6 to 7 weeks until the yearling sales are over. So yeah, call anytime. Come up and have a look at the draft. There's some beautiful places to look around. Crookwell itself's a beautiful little town. There's a few little communities that, Lagan Pub's probably the best little pub I've been to in many years, and I've been to a few.
You've got a right grin too, I was going to say. He actually owned one at one stage.
Yeah, I know. No, it is a great little pub. It's looks like someone's house that he woke up one day and decided to convert it into a pub. And yeah, there's a lovely little community out there at Lagan and a couple of nice little places to eat. So yeah, come up and visit us and do the rounds.
Dennis Pecker's up, he's up the road.
In Bigger.
I won't get the chance to catch up with him this visit, but I might next visit. But we're not that far, we're like 2 and a bit hours from Wagga.
Yep.
I was there the other day, and there's 4 or 5 breeders there as well. Dennis Howe, Matty Harris.
Yep.
What's the big stud?
Yearby.
And the Johnson boys as well. They're all in that area too. So anyone in Victoria, make a couple of days of it and come up. And I can tell you, I've seen some cracking types, and I think you've got to come and see them here before you go and see them at the sales, because they'll change. These guys will change in the next 3 to 4 weeks before they get the sales as well. So it's key to see.
And don't forget me mate Benny Setri.
So how much further is he?
Benny's only in Bathurst, hour and a half away.
Oh, I might have to end up there, won't I?
Absolutely.
So yes, Benny, I will get to your place. I never edit these, but I just had a little issue just then because the camera went past the time of recording it. Mate, I've got to say a big thank you. I've got to thank you to everyone. Been very hospitable. It's a big family effort here. I said about a family effort at the Golden Valley, but it's a family effort here, isn't it, as well? It's a big operation. Yeah,
it is indeed. And also, like I forgot to mention before, and Beck, my partner, like she does an enormous amount of work on the farm. So that's what we love. It's all of us in here digging in and having a go together. And and you get over and look after my man Benny.
I'll look after him. There's no worries. He'll be watching this. Be like, where is he? Kendi was one of the ones out there on the phone. If you're wondering why Dad threw the phone, Kendi, that was because of you. But she sounds very relaxed. She sounds like someone that might have had a massage or something.
Yeah, it's a tough life. The vet's just been in because the last foal was born a few days ago. So the vet's gone in and had her hair done and her nails done, and Kendall got a massage. So it's a tough life.
She sounded awfully relaxed while we're resetting this up. Please, anyone wants to come here and have a look. I love what these guys are doing. Make sure you come and have a look at the draft. If you're coming from Victoria, definitely ring. But New South Wales, ring the day of or something like that. Make sure, just give you a call because it's a long way to come. If for heaven's sake you're not here, but it's well worth a trip. Check out the yearlings, check out the farm.
Yeah, well, as you said, Dennis Picker's got 4 or 5, I think, in the Nutrien sale, and he's half an hour up the road.
Yep.
So you could tie the two of us in together.
And as I said, the boys,
among others,
Wagga, Bathurst, there's plenty of places, so it's well worth it. Nutrien Equine sale is on February 20. Going to be at Warwick Farm. Warwick Farm? Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, Warwick Farm in New South Wales. So make sure you clear your decks for that weekend. There is a lot going on that weekend. I know I've knocked back about four gigs. April 3rd in Melbourne. There's plenty going on. And please, when you're watching this, don't forget the Standardbred rehoming sale that is going to be conducted the first week of February. I think it's February 5. It'll go live, but I'll make sure of that. Keep an eye out for things that I'm doing there. But this is going to be the Camp Draft online sale that they're conducting. So we're going to make sure
it's just outstanding.
Yep.
And I've got some inside information on a couple of them, and what they're doing with these horses is going to blow people's minds. It's just unbelievable. And we create a whole new market for our standardbreds. It's just brilliant. I'm just that excited about it. It'd be a fantastic thing.
I'm a bit of a homebody, but I'm actually really, I don't go away very often at all, but I'm looking forward to 5 days in Tamworth just covering the standardbred section of it and what these guys are going to do, because it's going to be something none of us have seen before.
Well, I went up last year and it was just brilliant. The people are just hospitable. It's amazing. Like it's an auditorium. It's huge. Horses going around everywhere. Like if anyone, just wants a weekend away, horse lover or not, it's incredible.
$15 million they turned over last year.
Did they really? There you go.
So it's just an amazing effort. But I love what Nutrien are doing. Woodland Stud, they helped me out as well. You guys at Benstud helped me out. Don't forget to have a look. Check out the More Than a Horse that we've been doing. I'm going to compile them all into one, but it's great that she's got a little foal as well. So those things they're going along really well. All right, Juddy, we are going to the pub once you've fed up and beat the rain and
that.
But
I'll get an hour's work out of you, and then we'll
good luck with that. It'll be fine. Thank you very much, mate.
Good on you, buddy.